proceed with the countdown.
10,
9,
8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
3,
2.
Time's up.
From director Jodie Foster
You're fired, Claudia.
comes 3 good reasons to go home for the holidays. Mothers,
You paint as good as Vincent Van Gogh. Why isn't some man giving you $63 million just for one lousy picture?
fathers,
Everything's changing, like shoveling the turkey and stuffing the snow.
brothers.
I swear, Tommy, I'm naked. Into the house. Everyone, before we're in the evening news.
Home for the holidays. Rated PG-13.
Caution everyone to watch out for pies.
At this point, anything is possible, so yes, pies, seltzer bottles, balloon animals, be alert.
Doesn't this blend of blindness and blandness want to make you do something crazy?
Greetings and salutations, everyone. How's everybody doing? Excited about Talk Hard this week, my friend. I tell you, it's been a crazy day, and it was good to get back into the routine. This is my big tent pole of the week. I'm so excited. It's a busy, busy week because next week is week of Thanksgiving. I'll be on vacation, and I got a lot to do before then. So, Loki, my brother, what is going on? How are you, my friend?
Wait. Vacation. We can't take vacations. I don't get a vacation. I've got to work every day next. When did the hell did this happen?
Mrs. Prop, she approved all the paperwork, and it hit her, I think, yesterday. I think we were talking. I said, it's like I only have 4 more days. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm off. Like I'm off the week of Thanksgiving week because it's her birthday as well, the end of that week. So I'm like, I always take that whole week off. So I'm like, yeah. And it was like, well, what are you going to do on this day? What are we going to do on that day? What would you? So yeah, it was, I'm always looking forward to this. And it really is nice because it kind of coincides with the holidays and ends up like, I always have like 5 weeks of holiday, right? Because all of this, right, to Christmas and the New Year. And it's like this mass chaos almost. It kind of unpacks itself. But we did planes, trains last week. And now we're doing home for the holidays. Trying to get everybody in the spirit of just talking about some crazy stuff and having fun. So hope you're doing okay, man. Hope things are going all right.
Things are going all right. This is a fun little movie to watch, and I can't wait to get into it. So there's a lot of time. There's like time travel stuff, and then there is like seeing her get off the plane. That's crazy. The kiss with her boss. You know what would happen today if something like that happened? She'd keep her job and he'd get fired. There's so many little things that like you never see today. And then there's stuff that's like, oh man, the stuff with the family. Everyone knows what that's like. Everybody's, gotten picked up by the airport, by their parents, or coming to town. And it's like, oh my God, oh this, oh that. Or the mom complaining. That was my mom every single time I came home. Your father's done this. Your father's doing this. And I'm like, oh my Lord. So let's get into it.
And it's, it's a dated film, right? So it's 1995. We're sort of in this era where the homosexual community is coming out to their family. So a large part of what Robbie Downey Jr.'s character is dealing with that. And I think there's a lot of how people can relate to this or not. He is also like that radical, carefree person in the family. Not everybody has one. I guess that makes me the one that's in my family. So who would say the awkward things, do the awkward things, whatever. And I think that it was really good to see on film how the family gets very divided by that. Like the sister that hates everybody else. No one gets me, and like playing the martyr. And then the main character which I got to be honest, Jodie Foster directed this. I feel like she's almost like a self-insert for Jodie Foster. Like, I'm not sure how to take this. Anyway, I just loved all the family dynamics. And gosh, what an all-star cast. Yeah, fun to get into. So. Jacob is here. Hey, brother. Hopefully you're doing all right, my friend. And Jacob, thanks for everything you do for me, brother. I know you did send me something else this week. It is perfect. Exactly what I asked for. Thank you. And Scott Westbrook, my friend. Oh, great. Always been a great supporter and member. Sending over a $5 super sticker. Says, keep it up. Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you to all my members. I can't thank you enough for making this possible. This is what makes it happen, make it go around. So, Chris Persia, always a supporter. Thank you so much. Hail to the triumvirate of Talking Hard. Well, and special thank you to again, Chris, for being the mod, being the person behind the scenes. And you know, Loki, Chris is one of the two that were there. The three that were there the first day. They're just now over. They're now into the 12th and 13th month of supporting us. It's on this channel. It's crazy to think it's been that long already. It's amazing though. These people are great.
I tell you what, man. That you know what? It's the little things. There's so many wonderful people that support what we do. Scott Westbrook, you know, Scott Westbrook, I got to meet at ICC in Nashville. Absolutely wonderful guy. I hope we get to meet again. If you're going back this year, I think we're going. I'm pretty sure we're going. If not, dude, come down for ValhallaCon. It's going to be nuts. Chris Spurs is so great with everybody. Pat S, you guys are all wonderful. Penny's there all the time for everybody. Jacob Ironside, all these wonderful, wonderful people that we get to hang out with and talk with. Jacob Ironside, all of you are so great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, agreed. So on a side note, Pat asking about the highest quality Master Chief action figure. It's a Christmas list item. So you know one off the top of your head, or we need to research and get back to you, Pat?
You would have to tell me which exact one it is, Pat. I've got a bunch of I think they're NECAs. They're in the closet. I'd have to go look at them. But you'd have to tell me which one. I know the one, the small ones with like the warthog and all that. The hands don't really work like they're supposed to do. They don't grip anything. So it's like, oh, well, here's the gun for this character. Here's the Jeep this one rides in. They can't really hold on to anything because the hands don't work right. That's the only problem with them I've ever had is the smaller ones. So,
okay. Well, thank you for all the support out there, Pat S. Also, and showing off those emojis. That's how you do it, you rock all the emojis. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate that. Let's see here. No, Ironcaster is not on vacation. He's got something going on. He will probably join us a little bit later. He is not on vacation yet. And it's not a Lampoon vacation. No. The National Lampoon Shark vacation, maybe. I don't know. Lots of sharks. So, let's see. Yeah, he'd be living in his car. Yeah. So that's the callback to the movie. We'll get to that in just a moment. So for sure. So, let's see. Jaws was close. Planning and yeah, thank you so much. Oh, all right. So he's planning on being there. The ICC con would be awesome. That's great. I got to get the information on that. So yeah.
Which one, ICC or ValhallaCon?
Yeah, I can't do both, so maybe just get both dates and try to get an idea what I could pull off. I don't know. We'll see. We'll never rule it out. Okay, so any of you in chat, I don't know if any of you have seen Home for the Holidays or not. It is kind of like one of these sort of like, I don't know, oddball, nuanced films that I ended up seeing when it landed in theaters, and just kind of had a feeling like, for me, going home always kind of felt like this. Felt like the fish out of water. There was always something going on. Always felt like there was something crazy happening on in the world. Oh, that's weird how it changes like next to each other like that. Yeah, we'll go to that one. So I've always had a strong affinity for this. Have you seen this before I sent this over to you?
Nope. I've never seen this movie. If I did, it's one of those things that like my parents turned on and I absolutely tuned out and was like sitting there reading a comic or cards or something.
Yeah. I got you. Jodie Foster directs this film. Holly Hunter plays this main character, Claudia. She's basically doing art preservation. She's a master artist, but this is what a lot of artists that just can't find their commercial niche end up doing. She's there. She appears to be happy. She thinks she's happy. She's going on about how she loves her job. He takes her in a room and he fires her, and then he kisses her. And she doesn't like pull away right away. It was so...
She's running her hands through his hair. I was like, what the hell is this?
I know. It's funny because at my first go around, I think my impression is he kisses her like very aggressively and that's it. And then watching it again, I'm like, wait a minute. She's kissing him back. And then later the movie makes that little reference, a little reference later on about like, quote, making out with my boss. And it was like, oh, okay. Which, by the way, okay, hold on. We need to have a PSA moment. PSA with Loki. We should have theme music for some of these kinds of things, I think. I thought making out was like you went all the way. I don't understand the terminologies. I thought, kissing, I kissed my boss, I got kissed, what was the definition of making out? Was making out like just heavy petting and kissing? Like I don't understand.
So
making
it
out
can be
is a very broad term that is just somehow it's not well defined.
Okay, so there's making out, and then there's like making the beast with two backs, and all the all the other nonsense.
Lots of innuendos that Loki would throw out there. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so making out, just making out can be because they're embracing and kissing. It's not just like a kiss. It's not like she closed her eyes, leaned forward, and they just kiss. They are grabbing each other. Hands are going through the hair. Yes, that is a very short makeout session, but that is making out. It's not, but you don't go all the way with making out, and you don't go to you don't get past first base. Maybe some people might include second in that, but yeah, there's like a level where it's making out, kissing.
We're not undressing.
Handsy,
we're not undressing. All the clothes pretty much stays on. Okay,
yes.
Got it. Okay. Once the clothes start coming off, we start changing terms.
Yes.
Okay, making sure I understand. See, listen, folks, this is what this show is all about. We care about you. We care about the things that are important to you, and it's just important to make sure we stay up to date and we're all using the proper terms because she uses that term, not me, that she's made out with her boss. So just so you know.
I would call that making out. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'm scared Ironcaster might be able to get somebody to make National Lampoon's Sharkation. I got to be honest, I'm a little concerned that he's getting a lot more increase. If he were to embrace his Tubi persona and the shark recommendations, who knows where he could go, Chris? Let's just be honest. We all know it's just a shark world out there. It's Sharkcaster all the way, all the time. So
can we get the sharks from Finding Nemo? Can we get him and his family and they go on vacation somewhere like
oh man, that'd be so great if that was like in public domain. It'd be kind of fun to actually be able to do a fun little, because those are really good personality of sharks. Like those are really good, right? Bruce and I remember the main shark's name was Bruce. Yeah. It would hit me though. Yeah.
I want to see them. I want to see them take a vacation to Jamaica and eat Mario Van Peebles. For anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
All right then. So, Matt, thank you so much for your support. He's the 12-monther. See, here they are. They're rolling in 12-monthers. It's crazy. I can't believe it's been this long. Matt, thank you so much. You've been such a good friend. Great to get to know. Wish we could spend even more time together. It's always awesome. So thank you again for that. Appreciate that member chat and that kind of thing. So yeah, just absolute crazy and awkwardness at all levels. It's nuts. And then, and she has this sort of like, I can't believe what I did feeling. And then she drives this old beater car while the daughter's driving. So Claire Danes, those of you at home, keeping track of this incredible cast. I know it's nuts. This was also a film, and I don't know if you could think of some other films like this, but this was like this reprogramming of parenting, in my opinion, where it seemed like in the 90s, there's a lot of this too, where it was, oh, you're going to be okay with letting your kids, have premarital relationships, and you're okay with them doing these. You'll have these little faux lecture-y type of things, but it was almost like friend parenting become a thing in the Hollywood landscape. And I don't know that was really what was like the rebelliousness of movies was they were rebelling, like the Porky's era and that kind of thing. They weren't like the parents were approving of that. This is the era where films started to kind of dabble with that. Do you think it's part of the Jodie Foster Hollywood world of how they view parenting, or do you think this was just part of that cultural zeitgeist?
Okay, so I would have been 15, 16 in 95 when I had that moment, ladies and gentlemen. I had a beer with my dad afterwards. I mean, it was like, he caught me He caught what happened, and we had a beer afterwards. And he said, "Well, you're a man. Get ready because you're gonna have to start taking responsibility and blah 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 blah." It was different then. The '90s were almost like the '60s, but even weirder. So I could see this in the '90s. I could see the teenage daughter having a conversation with her mom about what, I'm going to do this, and the mom doesn't know what to say, so she just kind of is like, and then just deals with the fact that it's going to happen.
Okay. Pat says that Steamboat Willie getting eaten by a shark. Interesting. Okay. Not a shark, but have you seen The Incredible Mr. Limpet? Yeah. That's on my regular rotation. I love Mr. Limpet. And I know that's kind of this not the greatest movie ever kind of thing, but that's yeah. Let's put us up like that. And let's see. My so-called life girl. I remember her. All right. Anyway, so this movie to me has all these little social commentary elements because the daughter is so like together. Sorry, this is like a kiss goodbye. It's not as awkward as the screenshot that it was a kiss on the cheek. Because the daughter seems really grounded and has it together, and she's a basket case for a mom. And she was a teen mom. Like, that comes up even more specifically later. But she was a teen mom, so there's not that much of an age difference. You start getting to, 16, 17 years apart, it's like, how different are you really than this kid, right?
If you pay attention when they're in the car talking about that, she says, "Don't worry, it won't be in a car, and we're going to be safe." And I immediately knew that's how she got pregnant with her kid, was in a car,
right? And
she wasn't safe, and that's why her daughter's saying that. That immediately kicked in.
Yeah, I didn't have to have a whole lot of commentary, like just smart dialogue, right?
Right. And Jodie's
I don't think
known
you had
for that.
time.
Jodie Foster's known for that. She can do some really damn good dialogue.
Let me throw a name. I don't know if you did the research or not. The screenwriter of this wrote one of your favorite films.
Oh, really?
This is the screenwriter for Big Trouble in Little China.
Really?
Yeah. This is
Nice.
WD. This is Richter. W.D. Richter wrote Big Trouble. He actually also did and directed. I don't think he wrote Buckaroo Banzai, but he directed Buckaroo Banzai. And Buckaroo Banzai got him into he become a thing. So he really doesn't. I don't think he does much on the resume later on. I don't know what kind of fell off for him. I just don't know the story. It would be kind of a fascinating thing to kind of figure out what actually happened, dude. Because you were like cruising along with some of these movies, and that's just sort of like that's it. I don't know what happened, but yeah. I believe he picked the story up was like a short story in a paper. I think was the story. And one of you figure it out for me. It's like a short story in a paper or something, and then wrote a screenplay, and then it got to Jodie. Jodie Foster ran with it. So. Loved all this. You were talking about this too. We talked about this a little bit last week with the affinity. And this is another reason why I thought this would be a good fit, because it's almost like an extension of what we experienced with planes, trains, and automobiles was the time capsule, right? Phone booth use. You know what I mean? Like little things that are just so outdated. Like we just don't have some of these kinds of, look at the airphone. Look at the airplane phone. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the woman saying, asking the guy, "How does this work?" I had to deal with that with my mother and cell phones. She had no idea how to work a cell phone. She thought if she answered it, she would be charged minutes, but if she called out, she wouldn't. There was all kinds of weird things and misconceptions that she had about cell phones. So this woman standing there going, "Excuse me, sir, I don't know how to work the payphone." That totally makes sense to me.
Okay, so this, oh my gosh, bro.
That's the in-flight meal. I haven't seen an in-flight meal.
No.
Forever.
She brought this meal. This is her food, I assumed. Yeah, I assumed this is her food. So this was my grandmother. So we would go to this dollar cinema near the house. We lived in South Tampa at the time. It was called Twin Bays. It was $1. So this was the times you would get to go. She would sneak in food, and it would be like Shasta cans of soda and chicken wrapped in foil. And I see this scene every time, and I think of my Nan, and I think about how poor we were, but she still took us to this dollar theater every now and again, and we'd see those movies. So yeah, this lady was a representative of her time and her era, for sure.
Sneaking in candy bars and stuff in the purse. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's still pretty normal for someone who worked at a theater, but this is. Oh, look, Eric O'Sullivan is here. Freaking love this movie. Eric, you know what, buddy? Eric, if you're not doing anything, I'll put a link out to you, man. You can jump in and hang out with us, man. We didn't know. I didn't know you're down with this movie. This is our era, so it doesn't surprise me that Eric is a guru on this film. So, favorite holiday movies, love the ending, the moments you don't have photos of. Yeah. It's good stuff, indeed.
And
let me know, Eric, if you can come hang out.
Holly Hunter was so damn cute when she was younger. But now, see, the problem is now all I can think about is that scene from Batman and Superman when she's talking about a jar of grandma's pee or what the hell ever she's talking about. That's all I can think about now is Holly Hunter
in Batman Superman. And
Superman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, I see he'll be here in a minute. He'll be hanging out with us for sure. So, hey to you. And Brent and Charles, they literally are just so... Her parents, Holly Hunter's parents, I mean, it's incredible the chemistry those two have. I mean, you just feel like they're just running scenes. I mean, I don't even know they have script. I don't know. They could be ad-libbing the whole freaking thing. I have no idea. So.
And Bancroft in this is my grandmother. Most people would see their moms. No, from the wig to the dancing to the dress to the smoking, this woman had a cigarette in her hand constantly. And she'd have a cigarette in her hand, and she'd have a cigarette burning in the ashtray. She just put the cigarette down in the ashtray, and immediately not light another one, and be walking around the house smoking her they were like long Benson and Hedges cigarettes. That woman never walked around without a smoke. I don't know how she lived to be like 80 years old, but she did.
There she is. Yeah.
Smoking.
WRO. Let's see. I got to do this right. WRNO, The Rock, a New Orleans radio station and dollar theaters, the 80s and early 90s rock. Yeah, I know. Yeah, man.
That's right.
No, Eric, it's a totally cool. Listen, Raj just throwing it out there, man. If you can. Yeah, hit me up on Twitter. I think there's one date left that we don't have a guest. We have guests most of the time in December. I thought it'd be kind of fun to end the year with some other folks and some holiday talk with him as well. So. I've seen that done on a plane. A guy came in at Vancouver, takeoff, whipped out a tuna sandwich. I tell you, that smell didn't go until halfway across the Pacific. Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, fish food. Oh my gosh. That would have been brutal. Loki, you can judge me. If you sat down next to me and put out a fish sandwich like that's going to stink everything up, I think I might just ask to be moved because I would just say, well, I'm allergic.
Oh yeah. I'm that way with pickles. No, not at all. I'm that way with pickles.
I'm not allergic, but I'm like, I don't want to deal with that smell. I'm gonna get that smell out of my head for like 2 days or something. It's just that's too much. I can't stand when people at work will heat up fish in the microwave or something like that. It smells the whole room. Popcorn getting burnt. I'm like, please, come on, people, don't. Yeah.
I'm that way with. I'm deathly allergic to mushrooms. I can't go near a mushroom. I can't.
Oh yeah, I don't want anywhere near a mushroom, but I'm not allergic. I'm allergic to mint of all things. I know, how weird is that?
I'll puff up like a damn balloon. I'll look like that chick on Harry Potter, his aunt, when she turns into a giant balloon.
She gets all
oh
stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
These scenes, I mean, I have to be honest too. This again, look at the. Oh yeah, this was kind of fun the way that they connected in traffic. Oh God, you're going through it too. This was actually really, really good. This scene doesn't probably get the credit that it deserves because it's sort of like a dated thing of the going home for holidays thing. Because again, for you, we're old enough to understand that this used to be a day. Like, it's not like now where you're like, I'll go the weekend before, or I'll come on Friday or Sunday, or I'll catch you. You know what I mean? It's like, it seems like everything seems a lot more fluid now than it was back then. Like, if you weren't there on Thanksgiving and Christmas Day or whatever, you were in trouble. It was bad.
That's right.
It was not going to go well.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And okay. So what you didn't see from this one little clip is his mother is turned around in her seat, hanging over the seat, like chastising him about something, and he's looking at Holly Hunter, and he's like, there is mom. And he's looking at Holly Hunter like, somebody shoot me, and she's looking at him like, please kill me, because her mother's in the back seat doing the same thing to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
That look.
Oh, that's like the still. I don't know if this was a movie still or not. Let's put us over here so everybody can see the dad's face too. Like, it's so perfectly representative of that time and that process for sure.
Well, even now, like I remember the last time I flew in for Thanksgiving with my parents. My dad, absolutely, great. He was driving. He's like, it's good you're here. Da 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 da. My mother, no, the whole way. And your father did this, no. And it's exactly like this. This scene is perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
And as a dad now, when the kids are coming back, there's a lot of times where I try not to say much of anything when it comes to, like, other than just like, I would rather just spend most of my time asking questions. So what's going on? How you like this? What's going on with that? What do you know what I mean? I don't even want to get into the drama. I just don't. I'm kind of divorced myself. We went down a drama situation. That's it. We're good. So, and with that, my friend, speaking of drama, the man himself in the house. Whoa. How are you, brother? What's going on? Whoa, sorry, I hit the wrong button. Got to bear with. I'm going to switch screens.
Well, you know how these things go. There's always that one family member who always shows up late to Thanksgiving.
Ironcaster's here. Yay. Did you bring the cranberries? Did you bring the pumpkin pie? What were you in charge of?
Give me 5 minutes.
So guess what I get to be? Guess what I get to be in charge of this Thanksgiving. I'll wait till Ironcaster gets back. Okay, this is what I get to be in charge of this Thanksgiving. So we got something really special for the wedding. It was a very special wedding gift. We got a huge pizza oven.
Oh.
So, and this is not like, oh, you went down and you got, the convection oven. No, this is $1,000 pizza oven.
Wow.
And, so I will be making fresh pies next week. Fresh,
man,
homemade dough. I've got all the stuff I need to make the dough. Homemade, no cheap work, no cheap, store crap. Chopped. There'll be chopped pepperoni, so it'll be like the real pepperoni that you chop up into little bits. Fresh homemade mozzarella. I'm gonna go all out homemade pizzas. So that'll be my contribution to what I bring for Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving pizza.
Right.
We went over this last year. It's like this Italian pizza. It's all different. It's all odd for me, but I'm okay. I'm good now. So, Eric says it reminds me of my family. Yeah, everything about this film is supposed to. This is one of these interesting commentaries on the time, but then it also feels very timeless because you end up with this yearly or holiday. I want to add weddings and funerals in this mix where you're stuck with everyone has to come together. No matter how much you don't like people, you love them. They're your family. And it's just the oddities and the storms are brewing. And yeah, there you go. So
any family gathering.
Eric, we'll come back to the sister. We'll put a pin in that. But yeah, this performance by this sister is really fantastic. She does a really, really good job with that scene. So the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is a huge bar day. I want to see if your old high school or college buddies hit their drinking hole that Wednesday. Yeah. Gotcha. Awesome one is here. Says Pops, Trains, and Planes. So who wants to say hi else? Go ahead.
Do you remember when nothing was open for Thanksgiving? Now everything's open. You can get DoorDash. You can order a pizza. You can get delivery. You can get all kinds of stuff. I mean, heck, I even think there's like a
150%. Like I remember having to go to like 7-Eleven to find like batteries or like milk or something happened and you would need something. It'd always be like the local convenience store. You'd be paying like quadruple what you normally would pay, but you had no choice because no one else was open.
Yep, gas stations.
No one else was open.
And they had to keep the gas stations open because of the traveling, people traveling. That's all.
Now, Mrs. Pops did say a lot of stores are rolling this back and they're not going to be open this year. So I'm not sure, because I mentioned how we're going to be free earlier on Thanksgiving this year than we normally are. And I said, well, are we going to go out anywhere? You guys want to do anything? And she was talking about this is closed, this is closed, this is closed. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess not. I don't know. So just so you guys know, I don't know. Check. So yes, roll out those hashtags and those emojis. Awesome one. Thank you so much for that. And yes, Loki's Zardoz live on. You cannot forget, Eric. Thank you so much for massaging that like button in position. Sharkcast is in the house. Indeed he is. Let's see. Has like 20 emotes, a channel less time than Scott has 0 channel emotes. Props. Oh well, you know what? I love the little. I actually, be honest, it's weird because YouTube is not always consistent with when you can use them. So a lot of people will make comments. You know, somebody doesn't really leave a comment, Loki, but you want to respond to most people if you can. And I'll just sometimes just put a little emoji in there or something like that. Makes it a little bit easier for me. So
yeah.
Awesome ones with you though, Loki Zardoz, throwing down the homemade pizza. So yeah, everybody's got their thing going on there. So. Yeah, cool. So, this is fun stuff there. That whole Christopher Guest, Eugene Levy stuff, Spinal Tap, Mighty Wind, Best in Show. We just watched Best in Show, actually just here recently. So, but before we get back to the film, Ironcaster, I'm 100% certain this was your first time to watch this film, correct?
Correct. This one I had never seen before. Like this one I hadn't even heard of. So this was a total like blind reaction for me. And it's not something that would be up your alley. So I thought it'd be interesting to see how the dysfunctional family stuff would play. It's sort of like social commentary. So give us a little idea of what some of your impressions were. Well, kind of one of my first thoughts kind of watching this was just really kind of how dry this film came off. Like I'm watching, I'm feeling I'm kind of feeling in the moment here where for Jodie Foster, she's, going through these motions, kind of this whole whirlwind of events all happening, like basically the day she's leaving for Thanksgiving, where, okay, she just got fired from her job. She made out with the boss. Her daughter's dropping off her, telling her, oh, by the way, I'm going to go have sex with my boyfriend. And now you have to go home and try to, grin and bear it through the very stressful like holiday events. This is really relatable though. Okay. I did find myself pausing it briefly to then contact my local museum for something related that had been kind of in the back of my mind. So, it did serve. It got me to kind of think about some things I needed to do.
Ironcaster is applying for jobs at the local museum as an art purification. I don't know what he's doing over there. So, yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go through the shark exhibit.
There you go. Sax is in the house. Hey, brother. Hope you're doing all right, my friend. And Latino Slant. Look at that. Free bird. Oh, listen, Paulie, my brother, thank you so much for hanging out. Hopefully you're doing well. That campaign is rocking and rolling. And I'm so happy. He was my Watch Your Story this week, guys. If you didn't get a chance to catch that, he kind of talks about some of his processes, bringing this book to life. Can't wait to have that in my hands. So that's awesome. So yeah, let's just jump back into it. Yeah, this is the car ride home from the airport. Just this authentic feel in their home. We talk about set design. We talk about the authenticity. We talk about all this. Look, you had to be just like at home with this family. Like this is literally like we grew up in this environment.
Yep. No, we did. The dad playing the piano because so a large portion of the dads, they wanted to do what was that show? Dun 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 dun.
Name that tune.
Whatever it was.
Name that tune in. I can name that tune in 2 notes or things like that.
No, it was the show with that one guy that would play the piano and start out. It had the chick from. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember this. It was like a '70s show where he's sitting down playing the dun 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 dun. Anyway, I can remember what the hell he's playing on the piano.
All in the Family.
All in the Family. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. This is Carol Conros or whatever. Yeah.
Carol Burnett.
The piano. No, not Carol Burnett. His name was, isn't it Carol Connor? Carol,
yeah. Who's his wife?
That's Edith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carol O'Connor, Archie Bunker, Sally
Yes,
Struthers
Archie.
and Rob Reiner are the kids, right?
Yes.
Gene Stapleton, that's it. So yeah, he played the song in the beginning, and yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, you're right. That was a big deal. Yeah, but just all the little things in the background were our family. I hit the rewind. You can't get I think this shot, it went right above Holly Hunter's head. This little vase, this white thing with this little logo, this little multicolored thing right there. I think we still have that thing. I think Laura's mom still has one of those. So yeah, but there's so many things in this house. The set design is so real. I don't know who did it and what photos were taken. All of this just feels so good. And what's so fun is just like you said earlier, just this awkwardness of what's going on with the mom. This is the awkward changing with Anne Bancroft, like just changing in front of her daughter and stuff. Like this was a thing back then. Look how traumatized she is and bad. Like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And I'm like, yep, that was how people were back then. It's just, it's so different than now. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. What do you think, Ironcaster? This is like weird.
I mean, yeah. The other part of like her being able to go back into her old childhood room, like that was something that's something you really haven't seen much nowadays with a lot of modern entertainment.
That's true.
The very in vogue thing now is to like go and redesign the room and repurpose it. So
yeah, my room didn't even get cold, and you turned it into some sort of like. Man cave or mom has a knitting room now or whatever. Room. Right. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed this or not. The Dear Abby, that is a clipping, and that is what she wrote Dear Abby. So her mother is reading her this Dear Abby post or newspaper clipping. We call it a post now. A newspaper clipping that she sent. And her daughter's like, what did Abby say? And she's like, doesn't matter. Abby don't know shit. Like,
yeah, it's I wrote into Abby, and Abby didn't tell me what I wanted to hear.
That's right.
Yeah. That is so,
that still happens
man,
now.
Our parents, they still loved, they still to this day, and this is the thing that everybody talks about, like, obviously, mainstream media and news is going to die out with this generation, but like Dear Abby, this concept of this newspaper, this holier-than-thou person, advice column person, was taken as gospel, wasn't it? Like anything these people said. Oh my gosh, I don't think about those kinds. We almost should do streams on that kind of cultural zeitgeist type stuff, because it's just sort of like been lost in the shuffle of things.
Well, but
about the closest thing to that nowadays. About the closest thing to that nowadays would be like Delilah.
Okay, Abby was so big though. Abby's like national though. Like it's so we have bloggers and stuff and YouTubers and we have different internet. But this would be like I can't think of a newspaper columnist that had this sort of like influence now in that sort of social realm. Who would it be, Loki?
There's a
Oprah?
big thing going on right now called whose fault is it? And I hear about this all the time from people that's like, you write it and you're like, or it's like, am I horrible? It's some stupid.
Am I the
thing.
a-hole?
Like
That's like the Reddit stuff?
Right.
Yeah, I've seen it on Reddit.
And, you put it out there. Oh, this happened. And basically you get everybody's response. It's more of a social thing now because you're hearing from more than one person. So your opinion on this, hey, my husband went and did this and this. You know what I did? I cheated. I cheated with the UPS guy. Am I the one who's the a-hole? And then you get to hear everybody's responses instead of just one person. You're getting,
and that's what I meant when I said it's changed. Yeah, because it's like the idea that one person has so much power. It's like Walter Cronkite level. Like we don't talk about Walter, right? Because Walter was this authoritarian newspaper person who thought. If you ask any of them, Loki, Ironcaster, do you know who Walter Cronkite is?
Oh yeah, I'm aware of the name.
Yeah, so if we had asked them, they would be like, "Oh yeah, he wasn't biased. He was always telling us the truth, and he was whatever." I'm like he's a freaking liberal Democrat, just like all the other journalists are. Don't buy into that. They're all in that camp. He may have tried to be more neutral sounding than some of the others, which is obviously the best job you can do. But yeah, it's so weird. What life has changed so rapidly in our lifetime, man. This is crazy. Knives for sale references. we can never have enough nice for sales references, in my opinion, here on this channel. So Polly's getting landmines. Not quite sure I understand what's happening to poor Polly, but there's hellos and landmines. So I don't know, Polly. Great seeing actors acting. Robert Downey Jr. kind of steals the show. Yeah, we're going to get to him in just a few minutes here. And there's Loki's link. Make sure you check that out.
Thank you, Pat.
All in the Family. I'm way behind on chat. Thank you for that, everyone. Appreciate that. And Archie Bunker's play. Yeah, boy. Glenn Miller played songs that made his hit parade. Oh, yes. Awesome one. This is Home for the Holidays. So, yeah, Charles Durning is passed away. This movie's from 1995, Pat. So, yeah. Ann Landers. Okay, yeah. Dear Abby. Okay, yeah. Cool. I just asked Jeeves, so that's a reference. That's actually become outdated too, Pat. Wow, that's crazy. They're still charging $350 to $450 for a newspaper. Wow. Maury Povich. Wow, that's another reference.
You are the father.
Yeah, Maury. I can go bigger and better. You ready? Ironcaster's not going to know this. Phil Donahue.
The broken nose, Phil Donahue.
The white hair.
Phil Donahue.
Oh, I know the name. Like I remember them making fun of it in UHF.
No, that is Geraldo Rivera.
Oh,
that is Geraldo Rivera. Yeah, that's opening Al Capone's glove box versus Al Capone's vault. So that was what that gag was. So you were good. It's good. Listen, I'll take it though. That's pretty good though. All right, so let's let me just jump ahead a little bit because this was the go back to your room, and then so this is Dad sneaking to get pie,
and he's honest. He's honest. At the end of the day, it's ask for forgiveness, not for permission. Because he goes upstairs and he admits it, and she slaps him
right out of the gate. He tells the truth. He can't even go to sleep.
He had a good trick though for trying to sneak the pie. I got to give him props for that.
Yeah. I just take a little sliver. I just cheat. I'm notorious for taking. Are you ready? I'll cut this little tiny sliver like that. It's almost like I've been there, but I didn't take too much. But yeah, they all know. That's what I'll do.
Stay out of the turkey, you'll get worms.
All right. So the Robert Downey Jr. shows up, and it is insane. He brings home Leo Fish, which is Dylan McDermott, possibly an actor who has the some of the highest potential and least achieved potential of anyone in Hollywood. Like he should have been such a bigger star, and for some reason just didn't go. All right, let's get to Robert Downey Jr. for a minute. So Robert Downey Jr. admits no problem talking about it. He is extremely strung out on heroin during the film of this movie. Jodie Foster basically just lets him be this way, and then just says, well, you shouldn't just keep doing this. This has all been like documented. Like they all talk about it. It's like, you might have had to go a little further than just, hey, listen, don't keep doing that. But she got her movie out of him. I was like,
the only reason why he agreed to do the movie is if he could ad lib. So he said, I want to ad lib. I don't want to have to stick to all the lines. Can I ad lib? If you let me ad lib, I'll do the movie. And Jodie said, yes. And then had to deal with jacked up Robert Downey Jr. for most of the filming of the movie.
And it is gold. I mean, there are scenes that are amazing. So anyway, we don't have titles, so we don't know what we are saying. Talk Hard, Landmine, Loki Zardoz. My favorite Charles Durning roles, Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Yeah. Dempsey's in the house. Hey, brother. Awesome. Great to see you. Yeah, that is Phil Donahue. Yeah, I know. Local paper was asking for $1 a week. That's how bad it is. No one wants it. Across the pond, Christian Fan and Geek. Hey, Miller. Great to see you, my friend. What is up? What is up indeed? So, Dempsey ran before Ryan baked him on a pizza. Oh, yeah. Dempsey was on Ryan Roger Athay's live show. So yeah, let's see. Lots of back and forth. Love seeing people love each other. So, would you Okay. Would you align y'all vertically so you can see more of the film? Oh, see, the problem is I'm trying to stay away from the copyright stuff too, though, Penny. I apologize. So let me slide Ironcaster up. There you go.
Yeah, you can hide me. I don't have video.
No.
Put me back down. Put me back down. I'm not on
Why?
video. You can still hear me and they can see you. It's better that way. Yeah,
Okay.
There we go.
That's fine. All right. There you go, Penny. Sorry. I will say this for people who watch some of my other videos. I actually do move them around, and I'm going to be on later tonight with a live show, so you guys know after Talk Hard I'll be back on again. It's the only time I can fit it in, but I will be changing the orientation like that a lot because it keeps the algorithm from pinging the copyright and all the other nonsense. I know it sounds crazy, but it can't keep up because it doesn't know we do that. So, but these scenes with him, he steals the show. I mean, every scene he's in, he's just chewing up scene. He's over the top. It's zany. He's comic relief. She's in the shower. Mom just comes in. I don't think she's on the toilet going, but she's just sitting there, like, don't even care. And then, and we skip through it quickly, but the earlier scene when Tommy does show up, he finds her in bed. He lifts the sheets and takes a Polaroid of her then, and now he's sneaking up to her in the shower again, and he's going to get her in the shower with a Polaroid in this scene as well. And then they go to a parade. And again, talk about time stamping stuff with like life, like just everything about this parade. Again, Ironcaster, I said earlier, this was kind of like that continued experience of planes, trains, and automobiles of trying to get a feel for what life was like. And this was just such a great representation of things for that time frame, for sure. And for some reason, the orientation that I have us in is not letting me see the private chat button. So if you guys do a private chat, you'll probably have to just tell me because I don't know. I'll have to change the orientation. It went away. I don't know why StreamYard did that. That's strange.
I've got a challenge for you in this movie. Count how
many, challenge for me?
Well, okay. Anybody out there. Mm-hmm. Count how many Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierras you see in this movie.
Oh my gosh, they're everywhere. They obviously had a line on how to get them because they're just everywhere. Yeah.
Turn it into a drinking game.
And I was like 80% that the car on the right behind him, it was her car from the earlier scene, but I'm not going to bank on that. Like it feels like that could be the same car. I don't know. So Tommy's driving them back, and I forget why because he has this crazy song. So he starts telling the story about Fish and how he had to have this procedure to get this stuff taken out of his nose or whatever. And we're going to play some of this because this was just gold. I don't even know what was scripted and what was not.
Can't hear it.
Can you hear it? It's not very loud.
Nope, can't hear it at all.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Sound. I didn't share it right with the sound. It's fine. Let's remove it. I have to come over here and then remove it. Stop screen.
I'm convinced that was one of those many scenes that Robert Downey Jr. probably had to go and just kind of play off of with just this idea of the nose accident.
It doesn't even have me an option where to share audio, share a tab, or a screen instead. Okay, it's not going to let me share audio. That's weird that it doesn't share audio, though. It should have. Did they do an update to the StreamYard? Did I miss something?
I don't know. Do you want me to try it?
No, it's all right. It's not that big a deal. It's just a great little back and forth type thing where he's just going on and on about, I got this and I pull the pus out and the poop and he just keeps going and going and going. And it's like, but her reaction is like so over the top of like, I want out of the car. I'm like, what is happening? So she starts walking. They start mocking her. And then these are people from her childhood. So this is like homecoming queen who married rich guy. And it's like that feeling of when you go home and you find the people that actually were successful or did well for themselves and that kind of thing. So, yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. I haven't personally run into this. I don't really go to my hometown and socialize. So, even if I've gone to my high school a couple times or whatever, things like that. But I don't like hang out at any of the areas in that town. Has anything like that ever happened to you guys, where you're running into folks that you knew from school or anything like that?
This is a absolutely woman thing and a fear that women have. Oh, I'm going to go back home and I'm going to run into this person and they're going to have this great life. And I'm the one that's been divorced and I'm the one who doesn't have this. And this is Jodie Foster. You want to talk about self-insert? This is Jodie Foster's self-insert of I'm worthless and I'm going home and I'm going to run into the most successful prom queen bitch that went to my school.
Especially considering this is like seemingly like one of the worst weeks of her life. Like if everything has gone on the build up just at the very start of the movie, like this is perfectly done.
Okay.
I mean, the prom queen even has like this endangered leather fur coat that she's able to show up and tease with.
Yeah, that becomes the joke because she's in this, and then Fish shows up and kind of saves her. Speaking of coats, isn't yours and down the endangered list and something like that? So it's just a fun little scene. And again, this is the sweetness of this film, where it tries to create the relationship vibes and how they're into one another without it really becoming or feeling very forced. It feels just very natural. Now, it's a little bit, I got to be honest, she all but just jumped in the sack with him again, Loki. It's not like she's a whole lot different from her teen years. I mean, it's like at the end of the movie, she's ready to run off with Leo Fish, but, but it, again, self-inserts. And then we're at the best part of the whole freaking movie, in my opinion. This lady, oh my gosh, this is so insane. Oh, sorry, I just can't get the right freaking. Oh, we'll stop there. It's close enough. So, the aunt, the aunt doesn't drive. Someone has to go pick up your Aunt Gladys. Loki, get in your car and go pick up Aunt Gladys.
Who had to deal with that at some point?
Everybody had to. Mine was Aunt Pat, and she had 2 dogs that were never potty trained. And one dog was like 19, and he would pee and he'd fall over because he was so old. And it was like, go pick up your Aunt Pat. And she's like, oh, it's so gross. I'm like, oh my God, please. I don't want those dogs in my car. And like, oh, yeah. And it would be like, I'd get there and have to get the dogs. And she's like, do you mind just cleaning up the papers since you're getting them and you put them in the car and just clean the papers up for me? Like, I'm cleaning up the dog poop and pee on paper. Like, oh my God, it was just the worst. It is though. Yes. And then look, they're like having Fish and Tommy change a light on the porch. This is so. I know
you did it, Pops.
You did it. It was.
You did it.
This is life.
And you did it with a smile on your face and a song in your heart. Because if you didn't, one of the old timers was gonna beat your ass when you were rude to Aunt Gladys, and you'd have to hear about it, and it'd be, Pops, you ruined Thanksgiving. You ruined this Thanksgiving. I want you to know, because of what you did to Aunt Gladys, that's exactly what you had heard too.
My grandfather would just pull me aside and be like, look, I don't want to hear him bitch. That's all he did. That's all he would. He would just say these little things like, just don't, just whatever. Yeah, he'd pull me and my brother aside or whatever, and be like, listen, I just don't, because you know what happened. Everyone was gone, and then there's no silence in the house. They're still going, and I know because it still happens. It's still so.
You're just the one going. I don't care what happens. I just don't want to hear it. You're the one doing that now.
Yes. Yeah,
actually, I actually just let her run her words up. I just let her run her words out. So go ahead. What are you saying?
I was just like, it's like I feel like I was just having to deal with this scenario today. Like, yes, of course, we'll go to the bank. Okay, yes. We'll go to the store after this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yes. Now don't worry. I'll go get the cart for you. Okay, we'll go around the store. I'm like, I could have done this in like half the time.
Austin Williams was a military brat. He didn't have all that. Yeah, I know. So,
I was too, but I had to deal with all that. So I was a military brat. I grew up in a Navy family. We had everyone over, and
they all went to your house. You were the nucleus house. Yeah.
You were the nucleus house, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. We were going to hang out for a little bit. Everything would be cool. We'd go to sit down for dinner. My mother would have an absolute conniption fit because one of my aunts would say something. She'd pick up her plate and be like, I'm leaving. And she'd go out to her art room that was attached to the garage that had its own AC unit. And she would sit there and she would pout and she would go, I'm not coming back in. And my dad would go, just let her stay out there. And then I'd have to sit there and listen to political BS for 2 hours about this president or this president or this politician or this. And that's why when I had my own stuff going on, I said, if any politics get talked about in this house, you're out on your ass.
Yeah, they have a quick little line. The dad starts it during the dinner. We'll get there. One last thing on the crazy aunt. The crazy aunt, Aunt Gladys, is Geraldine Chaplin. That's actually Charlie's daughter. That's Charlie's granddaughter. And she's actually in the Chaplin movie with Robert Downey Jr. So, Jodie Foster, man, she got in all the favors, man. Because this gets awkward. This gets crazy. All right, so we got to head back. And this is the best because they get in the car. They're not in the car more than a couple minutes. A couple seconds, and Aunt Gladys rips one. She's ripping them left and right, and they're all frozen. They don't know what to do. And then the best line is, Tommy, how fast can you get us there? Fast like the wind. And I don't know. I may have to clip that. That may be just we just may have to have how fast can you get there? As fast as the wind, because everybody needs to know the inside joke of where this comes from, because this is a movie that not most people have seen. So, yes. So, Princess Leia Rose hopped in the house. Thank you, Leia, hanging out with us. Thank you so much for that. Awesome to see you. So, my dad retired Navy twice, still works same job as civilian. Okay, cool. So yeah, this was just. Yeah, old person farts. Yeah, I get it. So then they meet, and then you're just the back and forth. This is to talk about. So Robert Downey Jr.'s character Tommy had been with this person Jack. Jack's off camera. He's not there. She thinks that Fish is Tommy's boyfriend, pretty much, and that he and Jack broke up, and he didn't bother telling her. So this is a little backstory that's kind of unraveling during the whole movie. And then you have the weird. The weird dude from town that mom is still trying to hook you up with. I mean, you talk about a sad sack. This is the guy that still lives in the same town, Ironcaster, but this guy, they played him up in such a hyperbolic way of like, well, my parents died on me and I'm alone and I'll probably still be alone. It's good to see you, Claudia. It's like, wow, he is so dark and so depressing. First impressions of that Ironcaster? I don't know anyone that fits quite that extreme, but
oh, she's such an awkward moment. It's all going in. Mom's trying to set you guys up. It's like, Mom, it's not gonna happen. Like, I gotta go back home to like Chicago after this.
Yeah, and he has nothing to offer.
I can name at least a dozen online personalities that pull the feel sorry for me if I only had this and blah 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 blah. Yeah. And it's the same thing. It just happened in the 90s instead of now.
Okay, that's a good call. We know some YouTubers. We got it. I can see that. He pulls it off well. It's a good scene. Look at Tommy and Fish spying right here in the foreground. I don't know if you guys caught that the first viewing. It was like, oh, that's great. That is so what we would do. Oh my gosh. So I don't remember exactly how old we were. I don't even remember my brother being. I think it was a cousin, but it was like my sister's ex came by on a holiday, and we were like that. We were listening in the other room, like, this is gonna get ugly, is it? It's like she was giving him what's for or whatever. It was like, oh man. So. Kind of like this, but not exactly. But yeah, been there. And again, everything feels so perfectly lived in. Like everything is so, like again, there's these canisters on her sink. I'm like, we may have those canisters. They may be in one of the china cabinets. I don't know. They look familiar. Okay, so now we have more relatives showing up. And Tommy is just... So Steve Guttenberg is Walter, the brother-in-law, and the sister, who is Cynthia Stevenson. I don't really know too much about what else she's been in, but she is fantastic in this movie. I know she was in a movie called The Player, which is a Robert Altman film. I don't know what else she's been in. She's fantastic. She pulls this prudish, stuck-up, know-it-all, martyr, all that. You know, the one in the family. No one understands me. I'm the one that still lives here, taking care of mom and dad. They can't care for themselves. Well, you guys go off and live your lives and live, you know. And it's like none of that is true. None of that. She wants to do this. She wants to be that person.
No, she gets off on it. She does. She gets off on this whole thing. Like, I'm the one who's still here. I'm the one taking care of mom. Oh, you nailed that, brother.
Yeah, she does all that passive aggressive stuff too, like about her dad in particular, about different little. She just drops all those little lines about things that are going on. Like, if you were here, you would know, kind of stuff. Like it's more like, you know, and dad, he's repeating himself and he's doing this, and you know, mom, she has to have a cigarette for this, and then she forgets. You know, I don't know. I totally been there, lived this. It definitely is a family dynamic for sure.
Well, there was also the other little bit where they worked in where she's the one who's got to bring like the special like kind of meat substitute, like they got to play the vegetarian angle with her as well. So it's like you have all these extra bits and neurosis tied up into this one character.
True. And Tommy is the foil, right? Because he attacks the kids, trying to get the kids on his side. He's so over the top, and it's completely nuts.
He is the chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the table before the table, Loki. Remember those? The table before the table? Like, this is not the table. This is the table before the table. That's how much food there is. So this is the setup for the table before we get to this table here. And we have, the crazy aunt does not say a prayer. The crazy aunt starts singing. And you're like, just like, what? Okay, every time I watch this movie, this scene just makes me laugh, and I'm thinking to myself, 'cause I thought about Christmas Vacation, right? Because they have the crazy aunt there who does the Pledge of Allegiance or the Star Spangled Banner for the. It's like this. Okay, I don't think I've ever had anything quite.
You're talking about the lady who did the voice for Betty Boop. And the rockets red glad. That's Betty Boop. That is effing Betty Boop, y'all.
Yeah. So this is the crazy aunt stereotype where they can't say a prayer proper. They go into these really crazy things. Now, I didn't really have this, but I had a friend who did. I had a friend who did so much. I was asked about, like, you know this is coming, right? Later on in life, like we were in college, and I would be able to have our family stuff, and I'd be able to escape, and I'd go to his house, and we'd hang out, but I'd have to eat something or whatever, so I wasn't rude. But it would be like, dude, you remember how my aunt is, right? So when Grace comes, like, you remember how she is, right? And she would do crazy. It would be like in today's world, praying for the Middle East in a very dramatic way, as though she was personally impacted by something and things like that. It was like these very strange, starving people in Africa type prayers, like all this crazy stuff. So yes, that's this film's representation is the crazy aunt. Crazy Aunt Part 1. There's multiple stages of how crazy the aunt gets. This is past the farting and the lamp and all the other stuff that happened earlier in the film.
She's wearing a Fruit Loop necklace. She is wearing a Fruit Loop necklace.
It's just a homemade bead thing. Yeah. So then the mom tries to do a prayer that doesn't go anywhere.
No.
And
everyone starts talking over it. Dad is trying to cut the turkey with a butter knife upside down.
Yeah, he has no idea what he's doing. And his prayer is just nuts. Like, poor Tommy's face is great. And then he starts, so they're cutting they have two different turkeys. So dad's going to try to cut one wrong. And then at the other end of the table, the other one's being cut by Walter. But in the meantime, the aunt stands up because she chugs her booze. And then she just starts talking about how when she first met him, the mom brought him home, and mainly she has this overly detailed description of them having, say, like, snuck a kiss. I'm trying to find that. I was going to pull up the quote page because I want to try to do this scene justice. Ironcaster, what on earth was going through your head that I have made you watch this scene? Because I felt like this is where I felt I got on Ironcaster totally uncomfortable.
I'm like, okay, now here's where the craziness of Thanksgiving finally kicks into proper swing.
Mm-hmm.
And you just know that whatever the events were, that might have been some like kind of drunken kiss that happened like 35 years ago, that she's played it over and over in her head about 1 million times. She's rewritten it to be this thing that's like way bigger, way more crazy than it ever was.
Yeah,
like,
and she says it. She says she put this in her. She's played this out multiple times and stuff. Like it's completely nuts.
It's like, are we really doing this now? Do we have to like turn this into your Dear Abby letter?
Yeah, it is. They don't have this. They don't have the quote on the quote page. That stinks. So there's great conversation about the softness of his lips and that caterpillar type mustache. I can still taste it on my lips. And it was like, what is happening? And that's what you're seeing with everyone's face. My gosh, this scene is so incredible. You can see the mom like, what on earth is happening? Fish is like, what is happening? And she just sits back down. And I can see she lived out my dream or whatever. And the kids are like, I don't understand what's happening. Yeah, completely nuts, huh? All right, so then I think this is where Tommy starts to try to cut. Oh, that's right, because they wind Steve Guttenberg up, and so this is the brilliance of the film. I think Loki, you talked about how great Jodie Foster is able to do these things. So they wind Guttenberg up, so his character is just rambling about pro-capitalism, like it's about the free markets, and he's just talking typical 80s, I got to make money kind of stuff, and then all this other stuff is happening at the other end of the table.
No, but he's doing it as very matter of fact. Like I believe he is a banker or an accountant, and he's talking about it as like, well, this is part of my day job, so this is kind of if you're trying to do this, then this is very much standard affair for him.
Right.
Like to me, it didn't come across like he's trying to go into any sort of like political diatribe, though it inevitably wound up going that way. Which again, if it is so apt for these sort of holiday chaos.
Yep. Yeah. So he's cutting, but again, he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, I don't even know that he's trying to do it right. I think he's just doing it. And then he basically just jettisons the turkey right into her lap. It's brilliant. Loki, you ever had that happen at an event, at an affair?
Where it goes into someone's lap? No.
Someone just shot the food on someone else?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't think I've had food fight stuff.
We didn't have food flying, though one year we did leave a turkey out because, up here in the north, we can just basically put food on the porch, and that's basically our outdoor freezer. Well, we put the turkey out and forgot to kind of put it like in a car to protect it, and then a raccoon got to it that night. Like,
all right. So you went Christmas Story and had the Bumpus dog, so you had a raccoon though. Gotcha. Okay.
Like, good thing we had like 2 or 3 turkeys, so like we weren't without our delicious Thanksgiving turkey, the turkey sandwiches, turkey soups, turkey a la king.
Right. All right. Pat, no, I didn't mean it that way. No, you guys are making me feel bad. I didn't leave my hometown, these losers high school. I go to breakfast with them every first Saturday. No, man, I'm just busting chops, man. Everybody's different.
Well, I mean, if it makes you feel better, I'm still in the same house from childhood, so I'm the one who didn't move out of town.
Bobby, not many people did, so I'm happy to kind of bring Home for the Holidays, hopefully, to some more homes and see what people think. It's almost like commentary on dysfunction, and everyone can almost like self-identify and relate through this process because everything was done so well. So
what was
Sicilian buffet? Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm. It was a bit interesting though to see that Shout Factory had picked this up for distribution.
Okay, that's great. Actually, I just bought a Shout Factory disc. I will share with you guys at the end of the show. We'll have it I got to get up moving on the time, don't I? Look at the time. Sorry about the chat, guys. I'm sorry. There's no way I can keep up with the chat. You guys are blowing up. Thank you so much for all of you that have popped in that I haven't said hi to. We are halfway. We got to go moving. So, yeah, chicken in the lap. chaos breaks out, screaming, yelling. It's completely nuts. And this is where you get that self-righteous comments as things start to melt down because they're attacking her because they think she's so perfect and she's not.
Tommy looks like he's just sitting back enjoying the show too.
Well, he's wound everybody up. Like he's mocking one sister. He's doing, and he knows the secret. It's like I don't think she knew right away that he listened to the message because she got the message on the airplane. And it was like this pathetic. I lost my job. Oh my God! Delete this message. I can't believe I said this to a machine. Well, he didn't know all that. He just didn't tell her. So now she's confessing to the whole family. I got fired. My kid's going to be having sex. And by the way, I made out with my boss. And they're just like, what is happening? And Tommy just keeps instigating everyone. The drunk aunt is still unhinged. And mom melts down. Like you said, Loki, mom went to the other room.
Yep.
Yep. Right there. It's Loki's mom's in the other room. I'm like, yep, this is the movie. It's like a docudrama of the 90s. I don't know what to tell you, folks. It's incredible. It's incredible. And then this is exactly what this was you, Loki. You had to go to
I brought her food. I'd bring her a plate of food and I'd try to get her to come back. And she'd, she'd take the food, but she would shush me away and tell me to go away, that she was fine where she was and she was going to sit out there. And I'd go back in and I'd tell my dad, she won't come back in. He goes, just let her sit out there if that's what she wants. And go back to the family stuff because we weren't going to let that ruin, Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever it was that we were doing.
Yep. Then you have other shenanigans at break 3. Everyone's dealing with their own drama. The daughter does call home, and then they end up into they're playing football, but of course Tommy refuses to play by any rules they agree upon, right? So Tommy's just instigating. All Tommy does want to escape trouble. Like, this is the Ironcaster in the group. Ironcaster's out there going, we're going to throw the football this way. Listen, there's no trip. Ironcaster's like, well, dude, like, yeah, this is Ironcaster scene. This is an Ironcaster scene for sure. He was definitely Tommy in this scene. I can definitely feel it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was a good little church boy.
Sure you were. To the point where the dad just starts spraying them with the hose to break it up. This was one of the lines earlier in the movie, a little callback to how crazy the dad has gotten. He just washes cars. Like, if you just go over to their house, he'll just start washing your car. So this is part of the callback to how you don't know dad. Dad's losing his mind. He's washing every car in the neighborhood and blah, 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 that kind of thing. So that's what that was. I didn't have anything like that I can relate to. Watching football and talking, though. Watching football and talking. And then it transitions into, you guys got to take the crazy aunt home. And then it's bonding time for them. And this is where you get into like the rom-com stuff we're going to have in the last half hour. They're kissing. I guess we're making out, I guess. And then they're at the sister's house. And this is where you get part 2 of self-righteousness. I'm a victim. I'm a martyr. And I will say this for the character in this. I don't know, Ironcaster, if you had a thought on this. She does. Holly Hunter's scene is so good because she just says, you don't know anything about me. And as someone who has dealt with from like the pastor minister side of my life, where I've dealt with people at funerals and weddings, whatever, this is the truest part of this film, because all the stuff that's been manufactured and all this drama usually is because people don't have all the information. They just get pieces of things running through mom, like you were saying, Loki, running through mom with the rumor mill. And so what you get. So, and then we get to just going to make out, but they got interrupted by Tommy. And then the next day, I guess it's still at night, right? Yeah. No, it's the next morning because Tommy leaves. They leave. The dad has his sentimental moment that just breaks you up, because this is all of us dads. This is us dads. This is now granddad Pops feels the same way, of just memories that you didn't capture on film, the moments that really matter. You don't get caught up with all the stuff, because at the end of the day, you're still just, you still love each other. So yeah, hit you pretty good. And then just kind of, she gets on a plane to go, and there's a little fish rom-com moment. I won't spoil everything. And then little outtakes of the sort of like home video stuff at the end. So,
well, I really did like the little home videos at the end. That felt like an authentic extra little bit for this movie, because you saw dad is always playing with his camera. Like this could have been little snippets of stuff that like in theory Dad could have shot at some point.
Yeah, they
Or
do the
just-
spin and stuff they do in the first part of the movie.
Yep, it's little pieces of just the life of this family.
Right.
I did like that we didn't necessarily get like this big resolve with like the sisters making amends. It's like no, they've kind of went away with sort of bitter from that last get together.
And then that's going to happen. Okay. So the sibling thing, see, the one who stayed, she is resentful of both of them for being able to leave. She feels she is stuck there. I am stuck here. I have not gotten to go out what I want and do what I want to do. I'm stuck here with kids. I'm stuck here with his husband. I'm stuck here with mom and dad. I'm never going to get out of this town. Meanwhile, the other two have gone off to do their own lives. So that resentment will never leave. She's always going to be like that. She's always going to be like that. That will never.
Yeah.
If she lets that go, it's going to be a therapy. Lots of therapy to get over that.
And that's the thing in life with everything you do is everyone's happy for you and they want you to succeed until you succeed more than them. And then you represent that dream or success that they didn't achieve. And then they're bitter and resentful.
Well, you realize this will just come back out in about 20 years at like the next holiday gathering.
Oh yeah. It's like 4 weeks later of Christmas. So they have to get together. I think there's a quick comment or so about Christmas and they something like that. And I'm actually shocked that there's not a sequel or another movie in this, and I'm happy that there's not. But I'm shocked that there isn't. But I think it's because Jodie Foster and whoever the writer is, they would have owned the rights to do it. So I don't think that they were interested in doing that kind of commercialization of their product. So it would be kind of interesting to see a movie kind of do that sort of take where you have the family that's getting together for all these events during the year who, the brothers that only get together like at like the holidays, the Easter, maybe the 4th of July. Then we have a funeral, like a couple of funerals in the mix. This is the Medea franchise. You just aren't watching Medea? Is that what you're admitting, Ironcaster? You're not updated on your Medea films?
No, not enough sharks for me.
There's a Halloween. There's a Christmas. She went to jail. There's like 7 or 8 of these movies.
What I'm talking about, though, is kind of like how this had those little segments where, like, we were introduced to the individual family members. We get then each of these different scenes or parts of the movie is just a different family get together, all within the same film. So you have this narrative playing out over a year or so of these family get-togethers.
Don't worry, Ironcaster. I didn't watch the Medea movies either.
I got tricked into watching one.
Yeah. Okay. Any last thoughts? Let's wrap up. We were at 10 till. Last thoughts. Loki, let's start with you, my brother. What are some of your first impressions and last thoughts, my friend?
Man, you want to talk about a time traveling back to 1990s? This will do it. If you lived through the 90s and you remember the 90s, you're gonna feel like you went into a time machine and you're watching the 90s play out before you. If you have a family like this, you're gonna be like, oh God, why am I watching this? I feel all of your pain. I feel all of your pain. And look what then you're gonna get emotional. And then you're gonna be like, I miss mom and dad, or you're gonna get this, or there's gonna be all these feelings, and that's exactly what this is supposed to do. That's what Jodie Foster did very well. That's what Helen Hunt does very well in this movie. That's what they all do, is they give you this sense of you're here and these are the holidays and this is now. And while there is that time travel aspect of it, there's also a lot of stuff that you don't have to time travel. You can experience this in exactly 1 week when you're at Thanksgiving with your family. If you go home to your family and you see your moms and you see your dad, and you get to experience all of this with the brothers and the sisters. There's a lot. The dynamic of this is going to play out all across America in 1 week.
It's timeless for sure.
That's right.
Timeless for sure. Ironcaster, what about you, my friend?
I mean, it had that little lull in about the kind of the set in at about that from at about like the 20-minute mark or so, but that was one of those necessary bits to sort of build the story. I did like seeing the build up as it came out. It had to pay itself off, and I would say this ultimately did. I like the kind of the chaos of the family. It reminds me so much of like this little thing or that little thing from the family get-togethers. Where like, you know, everyone's out watching football and they're talking about the fantasy football scores, and like I'm the one who's like, I'm not into this. I'm not into all the fantasy sports, so I'm over here in the kitchen kind of watching things on my tablet, watching like the Mystery Science Theater Turkey Day marathon, while I'm trying to avoid everyone who's doing all the cooking. So I'm like, I'm totally trying to not have to get in the way. It brought back some good memories.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it just takes me back, and it's someone who got to see it in a theater and connected with a close friend over this for multiple reasons. It just really strikes a chord. Hour and 45. It's kind of a roller coaster ride because it's kind of a drama, kind of a rom-com. It's got a lot of setup, but I think once you get to that dinner sequence, and then I think when you see a little bit of the transparency of the characters coming clean with what's been going on and all of that. We didn't really touch on the Robert Downey Jr. character. Like Tommy's kind of being outed in this whole process. There's a sweet moment though with the dad, and the dad answers the phone. It happens to be the now husband, right? They got married. And the dad answers the phone and he says, congratulations or whatever. It was just really sweet the way it was handled. And again, 90s, you have to give it a little timestamp on this. It's been a minute, so you kind of have to have a little bit of that frame of reference for a film that's been around this long. So really good stuff, really fun dynamics and things like that. So anyway, so yes, next week, vacation week. So best of Talk Hard, me throwing together some clips and that kind of thing. We'll throw together some stuff from some different shows. So if you haven't watched every single one, maybe it'll give you a little montage of some of the craziness that we get ourselves into, because we definitely do that. And Ironcaster knows all the words to Patrick Swayze Christmas. Maybe. My family is currently listening to Christmas songs while they ate my homemade pizza. Cool. Very cool. Yes, I have another Christmas video coming out on, I believe it's Tuesday. And yeah, we get a little transparent about where we are on the Christmas timeline. So, all right, Eric, get some rest, brother. Cheers to you, my friend, and keep in touch. But yeah, good stuff. So before I let everybody go, I want to show everybody off a gift a gift I bought for myself, but really for my grandkids too, because I did a review on an episode. After I don't really talk about one episode, but I watched like 6 of them. But I was like, I'm just gonna buy these. I didn't have them.
Nice.
Put out by Shop Factory. Shop Factory's got them out. Got it. I guess this person probably got it used, because that was like a used type sticker, and I got it on a deal from that. So I am so thrilled to have all of season 1. I think there were only 2 or 3 seasons, but this is enough to get the grandkids through. This is probably about 15 episodes or something like that. So I'm very, very happy about that.
His village has been frozen and turned to stone. I was like, no, it didn't. That snake dude cut his mom's head off. I'm like a little kid watching that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I did my video. I basically said, is this part of the gateway to get kids into fantasy? And it's so well done for what it is. I think it's great. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So, listen, folks, let's give you a little rundown on some things coming up. So, yes, we have the Thanksgiving week next week. Best of Talk Hard, not live, but we'll put together something for you. But the week after, you do not want to miss. You do not want to miss the 28th. It's not only a miracle on 34th Street, because this guy over there, this guy over here, let's see, that way right there, he's convincing this is a Thanksgiving movie. Miracle on 34th Street, the original 1947. I don't even know what I'm going to get myself in the middle of. I don't know where Loki stands on all this. We're just going to see it play out. We're going to bring in a 4th person. I don't know if they're going to be referee or they're going to have a take. We'll see. Magitech Mags will be in the house. She's going to join us for Miracle on 34th Street. That'll be on the 28th. So yeah, actually, we're head right into Christmas from a Thanksgiving/Christmas movie. It's fine. We're going to, and by the way, you guys will totally approve, because we're going to close out our last Talk Hard of this year before Christmas with the Christmas film Die Hard, which I again trolled Mrs. Pops this weekend because we created our Christmas playlist, and guess what's on there? Die Hard 1 and 2. So every time she sees that, I have to hear about it, but they're not coming off that list. So Ironcaster, my friend, what is going on with you? You got this live show tonight? What are you guys doing on?
All right, so tonight I'll be on with T-shirt for our little midweek in geek, where we're kind of I'm not quite sure what we're going to be getting into. I think Wizards of the Coast has some new video out that doesn't do a good job of explaining why you should buy the new edition. Last night I kind of did a little impromptu live stream for what I'm going to kind of tentatively try to do for a Monday show. I think I figured,
Clickbait,
hey,
clickbait. It said Mech Lab. It said Mech Bay. It said Mech Bay, and he wasn't even talking about mechs. Clickbait, Ironcaster. I love you, bro. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I saw it. I immediately clicked on it, and I was like, "What? Y'all ain't even talking about mechs." Clickbait.
Well, look. It's like you go into the shop, and it starts off like you're at work, kind of talking about work stuff, but then you sort of get sidetracked with all the other whatever conversations. Like it's
the way a real conversation goes for us nerds. I mean, I want to tell you, yeah.
Look, first thing you think you start talking about like, hey, the best Iron Man suit. Then you're like going into like, well, you see in that episode of G.I. Joe where they had the space suits and they fought the pit vipers.
Just ignore him, because all someone has to do tomorrow to derail YouTube talk is bring up the homemade pizza. It'll be 20 minutes of homemade pizza. He does it every time. It's okay. Just so he can pick the rocks up, but he's not actually going to hit you with them, because he does the exact same thing, just like we all do. Because it's just how it is. So, awesome, brother. That's great. All right, Loki, do we have a YouTube talk tomorrow? Are we staying on task?
We do. We have a YouTube talk tomorrow. It's going to be a little different. So it's going to be about ad revenue and what your expectations are. Basically, what are my expectations? Oh, Loki, if I only have so many subscribers and I only have all these thousands of this, and if I only had this, guess what? We've got people out there with thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands that don't make anything off of ad revenue. It is not, you cannot be sustained just by YouTube. And you can't expect to always get the super chat money. You can't always expect this. So before you go, you know what? I'm Mr. Big and I'm going to quit my job and I got enough to do this and I got enough to do that. Strap yourself in, boys and girls, because guess what? Most likely you're not ready.
Yeah, it's rough. And the world changes too, right? They change the rules so rapidly. So even if you think you're on a path and it's going consistently, we've seen several people get completely deplatformed, and you've seen all sorts of things change with the numbers and stuff like that. So you just don't have total control of the business model. You can only just do certain avenues. So
that's right.
Good topic. Good topic indeed. Indeed. So yeah. We'll touch on DJ Ronnie G. He talked about girls liking Gundam, only to find out they've only ever saw Gundam Wing. Oh, good.
Like, yeah. I accept Wing as as a good entryway, because for many of us, myself included, that was how you got in. That's how I got in. But I've come to accept that there are better series of Gundam out there. Like, I'm partial to G Gundam. I mean, who doesn't love giant robot stereotypes like the Tequila Gundam?
Wow, I don't even know what to say to all that. Because I'm such a normie when it comes to Gundam stuff. I will try to figure out how to carve out time and get myself into it more. Maybe next year.
That's not a bad idea, actually. We might have to talk for one of those, the mech pits.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll figure that out. Yeah. Okay, so in about a half hour, I'll be back live. Sorry to go up against the Geek Show. I totally get if you guys want to hang out with them than me, because it'd just be me. I watched it so you didn't have to. So yes, I will give you an action, because I didn't watch anybody's reviews. I didn't watch anybody's. I've seen thumbnails. I know how much it made at the box office, but I will do a walkthrough with you. I will talk about the Marvels, give you the really lowdown on a film that obviously, clearly, it's very, very clear to me, this film, unlike the other Marvel movies, this one for sure, I feel certain, was written by a wine mom in a Starbucks, and then it was rewritten by AI by a 9-year-old, because that's what we saw. And I will walk you through that movie. I watched it so you don't have to.
Make sure you bring up the hammer.
Oh, there's a hammer.
Because it's got the Power Stone in it, and that's the most worthless argument I've ever had.
There's no Power Stone in it because they're not there. But so yeah, no, there's so many problems with so many. The amount of problems in this movie it's just unfathomable. So I watched it so you don't have to. I will give you some talks, and we'll go from there. So, but listen, folks, have a great Thanksgiving. Boys, have a great holiday yourselves. Thank you to chat. All of you are amazing. Can't even tell you how great it's been to be able to do this kind of stuff with you guys. I appreciate those member chats and super chats, stuff that you guys did. I appreciate you so much. And listen, go out there, have a good one. Get in there and have a little home full of holidays for yourself. And just remember to talk hard. And when you see that turkey fly, or you see Aunt Ethel, whatever her name is, give a drunken speech or prayer, hopefully you'll think about us. So take care, everybody. Be blessed. Until next time. Take care.
All I do is chill. My life is a thrill, for real, Bob Ross. I be too calm for the drama. You don't wanna cause a problem.